accordingly. So the fly mechanic there definitely gives some wiggle room with how you want to set up your land system.
Yeah, you can't discount that flying ability, how valuable that is in early game with harvesting. Choking Sand is perfect for dealing with cards like Underground Brigand. I think we'll probably see it come out this turn, actually. Why give your opponent an extra turn to harvest Feria? But you can play your Merchant first and see what you get from that.
It kind of just depends on how valuable one Feria is for Happy Joe. You have to assess that, because you actually are one Feria less, because you have to pay that extra one for the cost, Brigand being free, Choking Sands being 4. So you have to really assess, is it worth going for it now, or setting up 2 harvesters and then double harvesting, see what happens to the Brigand, then maybe Choking Sands it. So it really comes down to how important is that one Feria for Happy Joe from Martus's perspective.
And what does Martus want to choose? Keep in mind, whatever he does not choose goes to his opponent. Happy Joe gets to use. So he's sending the Monstrosity and the Rotting Boar over. He's running out of time if he wants the Choking. Okay, got it just in time.
Just go for it. Someone's keep that Feria locked out. Now, Monstrosity is an interesting one because it's a charge creature, which will mean that the red deck now gets to build a double collection line. And maybe that's why the double neutrals have come down. Sets up a beautiful mountain for later in a more aggressive position, but you can also stick that Monstrosity and double collection later on. And it's got 5 health, so it takes a while to get rid of.
Yeah, and Rotting Boar even could see some use in Happy Joe's deck. He's got a few 5 or greater health creatures in his deck. Ground Shakers, more Ogre Adventurers. So not too bad for Happy Joe either. He definitely will not be short of cards this game.
The Storyteller's going to offer more cards, depending if that comes down here. So, really trying to overfill your opponent's hand, set up those husks, start draining life, start gaining your own hand advantage. May just see maybe see another Merchant, might see the Boar to get something a bit more meatier down to survive that red removal. But yeah, going to fill that hand up. I like Crumbling Golem. It's pretty good. It's got good stats. He'll be able to clear out most threats. Loads of the waste. Doesn't really get value at this point. And Messenger's got that jump, so you can go there. And he does go for the Crumbling Golem. It's just 5 Feria, 7/6. It does chip away, but it'll probably clear something big like a Cypher, or maybe even an Ogre later on.
Yeah, and keep in mind, these are all neutral creatures, so Happy Joe can just make basic lands up to his opponent's orb and put down this Runaan's Messenger, for example, if he wanted to. He definitely wants to focus on harvesting as much Feria as he can, because he has plenty of cards to use, and really the only limitation right now is the amount of Feria he can get and control and harvest. So it is not a Runaan's Messenger, it is in fact a Cypher right next to face, and that's going to be tricky to deal with.
We're definitely going to see Happy Joe pushing now with this. He's got removed from hand. He's got a lot of options now. And like you said, that Feria is so important for Happy Joe, because these are 5 Feria creatures. If he's Feria starved, he's not going to be able to +1 into them. So it's really important for Martus now to take control of the right side. And he's kind of pushed off to the left here. He wants to set up that fly. And I think he kind of lost the advantage of the fly going for double neutral on the left there. But Wind Soldier... is that going to be you guess he's got Soul Drain and Wind Soldier to back him up here to clear the Cypher, but this is just one of many threats in this hand.
Yeah, after he deals with this, which he's going to do his best. Yeah, look at how much he has to spend just to deal with this. The Soul Drain and the Wind Soldier, so 2 cards. 5 Feria, Cypher doesn't like that. Plus his Merchant. That was like all of his resources just to deal with Cypher. And Happy Joe has plenty of ammunition left over.
That was a free card for 1, essentially, and the Feria values was 7. Well, it was 8 Feria to 5 Feria, so there's a free Feria advantage there for Happy Joe. He gets 6 Feria this turn, so again can just stick another creature down. Gets the dash off the Ogre here, so gets put into a really good position, start block.
And that's a great card for this situation, because that's going to keep discounting his cards every turn, and that's what Happy Joe needs, is discounts right now. So that works out really well. Let's see what it lands on. Okay, on the Rotting Boar, so maybe not the best target for it, but now he's got a 4-cost 5/4 with a potential Corrupt.
What a tricky situation. I mean, Crumbling Golem here is 5 for 5. It could trade off quite easily. We're going to see Wow, we're getting the resources from ogre already. That can't be avoided. So it's gonna be it's a tricky clear. I mean, you can't really even stick the ancient boar. Could ignore it at this point, or maybe stick storyteller in front of it and line up the wind soldier next turn. See what storyteller gets you. But this axe grinder sitting in the right hand corner, he's just taking that area, and those 5 costs are just gonna keep on coming, and it's gonna be so difficult for Martus to deal with.
Kremlin Golem is a decent answer for what's there. Of course, we'll see it be removed here shortly. But yeah, with what he had in hand, he didn't have many options. That ancient boar that he took a while ago from the My Merchant is still just sitting in hand, unused. Meanwhile, Happy Joe, a full hand. I think we'll almost... I was just about to say, I think we're just going to see +1 every turn, but no, still wants more land. How does he deal with the Crumbling Golem, though? He only needs to play 1 card if he wants to just trade in the Ogre. If he wants to kill it otherwise, which I think he's going to do, is double Cypher's Wrath here.
Double Cypher's Wrath. Oh, he's going to he's going to take out the Harvester. So starving that economy, I like this play a lot.
And yeah, double Cyphers would not have killed the Golem because he'd have to summon a creature out of that. So yeah, okay. Clearing off the double Harvester, just letting the Golem sit there, you know.
Wow, that's so interesting. So he's just going to get the value from the Ogre and then allow Martus to make this decision. Does he take value on the 2/3? Maybe he's afraid of a Flame Burst or something like that coming up next turn. So he doesn't have it. He could take the value here, but it's not too much of a deal for Happy Joe. He gets that Farrier back from the combat trigger.
Yep, that Runin's Messenger now discounted by the Ogre Adventurer. The longer it stays on the board, the worse it is for you. So yeah, I'm sure he's thinking, I need to get rid of this adventure. But that's just one of the threats. Now the Brigand is open to face. Can he deal with that? He's going to have to use either Wind Soldier or Merchant, but Merchant will not stop a hit to the face.
Oh, more options here going to Happy Joe. The Imperial Drake Rider's not bad. Again, another flyer, very versatile on the board. Can get that corruption trigger. I believe he's actually going to go for the Kodama. So this is potentially Martus thinking, okay, I want to actually win at some point. I just don't want to fight red until it runs out of resources. It's not really in his favor right now. So he can set the Kodama on the top left, jump over and start hitting and gaining that life, and maybe establish a race to try and win this game.
And that is 9 cards in hand for Happy Joe. That is the 3rd and final Merchant played. 2 of 3 Storytellers played. So the amount of cards coming Happy Joe's way are hopefully going to slow down soon. Runin's Messenger, nice value right now. You can hit face, don't forget. I think that almost certainly happens. Let's see, does he have any buffs? No, I have to look through his hand all the time. But yeah, hitting face is a no-brainer here. 6 Farrier to spend now. But what do you use it on?
This is interesting.
Yeah, you have so many cards that you normally don't have, so you have to think, what is actually best here? There's actually lots of different options.
I think he's trying to mitigate the value clear on the Brigand by going for the Lord of the Wastes here.
Did you get a crash just then?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, we'll be back really shortly as we fix this.
All right, I'm back in. So we did see the sack on the... Oh, and the dash from the Rotten Boar. I like that. So mitigating the value on the Brigand there, not allowing the clear. But not. I don't think he's really in a position where he really wants to clear. He needs to deal with a 6/4 here. Lots of flash winds available, especially with the Wind Soldier. Could maybe tank some damage in favor of clearing up that Axe Grinder on the top right-hand corner.
Yep, Rotting Boar and Lord of Waste, the 2 cards that you did not see played, but both of them had been... Well, no, just the Boar had been discounted by the Ogre previously. Merchant now, clearing out the Axe Grinder, looks like. And 5 Farrier to spend otherwise, with the Power Wheel already spent. Looks like Boar...
If only he could Kodama board this turn, that'd be a huge tempo swing. Alternatively, he could just stick the demon down on the right. Could even dash a Colossus into the middle here and just have that big body to start chipping away. He's going to go for a Wind Soldier, I believe, on the left-hand side here.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like that board was gonna be able to do its corrupt no matter what, but no. If he spends the Wind Soldier, that's the one way he could remove it. Lord of Waste now set up to hit face or clear demon, start over from square one, and Happy Joe has the fairy advantage already. In fact, he could harvest and be 4 fairy ahead on this empty board, and then drop whatever he wants.
I've been waiting for this monstrosity. I wanted it a couple of turns ago, but I think this is a perfect opportunity. You collect +1, play monstrosity, clear the demon, and then you have a 6/5 and a 0 fairy, a yellow tempo deck. I just don't see how he gets through it, and they have the mobility as well to move up and down the board if you want to. It just seems like a good spot to get that card down on the field.
Yeah, it's the charge. I mean, what other unit are you going to summon that's more powerful than a 6/5 charge? 2, basically. Well, he doesn't do it, though, because the adventurer does discount cards later on, so that's not bad either.
And yeah, it goes for the volume. Loses a bit of mobility, but I think this is just fine.
Yeah, and it lands on the messenger again. That's a really cheap Rin's messenger. That's value right there, even if it doesn't hit the orb.
Oh, the old draw, the desperation draw. Can I find an answer, or at least something for next turn? And this is where cards like Last Nightmare are the weakest. You know, you don't have a lot of fairy at your expense. You can't just like Last Nightmare and be like, right, I'm done with this threat, because another threat's just going to show up and you're going to have to deal with 2. Oh, he's going for the smoke. He's just straight to the orb now. Let's finish this game.
I can't believe he wouldn't play the messenger. Like, I would be so tempted. I'm like, ooh, I got a free messenger, and it's discounted, and I'm right next to face. But no, he's like, no, I have a deck. I built my deck. I'm going to play that one.
See, Last Nightmare gets it down. Haunted Husk will get some mileage here. Draw a card. Heal just a little bit into another Husk. But we're just in that position now. Step, another Herald, or step hit, another Herald, 5/5, step hit, maybe hit again, another Herald, so on and so forth. So I could even just pump 2 creatures out here. Put Axe Grinder on the well land, get that power up, get some Fairy collection going on, and then play the Brigand after a hit on a +1, so you get a powered up Brigand. So many different options here. I just like jamming Heralds at this point.
Yeah, Husk is out now. It's a little late. To the game. 10 health remaining for Martus. Heralds everywhere. That one's 5/5. 0 fairy for Happy Joe, but lethal is not quite on board.
Very close. Grand Shaker, be able to finish it off here. Flame Burst if it's in the deck. Goes for a Soul Drain, and then move double neutral into another Husk and just hope they can keep him alive.
Yeah, I think he's just going for the life just because he's so afraid of this red deck from pulling out, I mean, rightly afraid of the red deck pulling out some kind of damage here. Only able to drop another Husk. It does drain more life. These Husks he wanted much, much earlier in the game when he was loading his opponent with cards. He was basically just giving his opponent free cards, and there was no consequence to it because he didn't have Husks.
Such a tricky situation for the yellow tempo decks to be in. If you have all that mutual card advantage, but you don't have the Husks to capitalize, your opponent can just sometimes just start summoning all the stuff you gave them, and then that's a nightmare to deal with. You're paying resources from your deck to clear stuff that you gave them.
Yeah, and I don't think any cards were burned even, so there was no loss there. It was just, hey, have these extra tools to deal with. Oh, I'm not getting any benefit. Happy Joe wins. And that's going to bring it to 3-1, which is actually the end of the match already. So Happy Joe moves on to the finals. Korea moves on to the finals. Martus, the German, will be in our third place match, which we will watch next. I'm going to put up the brackets here.
So Martus has the road to redemption now in the third place bracket. He's got that green rush. We didn't really see an ideal start for that deck. I don't think we got to see like its full power. It can really run away with the game, especially against mono red. Let's say you're able to double neutral forest Verdant for some mono red decks. Be like, oh man, I can't deal with that. That's expensive. But he had a slower start, so he didn't really get to show us what it was made of. And the mono red just did a an expert job at answering the last 2 decks. They're just clearing out the threats, controlling the board, not going too crazy, not going too aggressive, playing that economy game, and then eventually happyjo taking that 3-1.
Yep, and we can see happyjo now is going to move up to the grand finals. Martus, he's not knocked out yet. He'll be in the 3rd place match, which we'll be watching next. But before we can watch that, Evgeny versus Superb Lizard needs to find completion. So I think what we'll do is I'll try and contact them, see if they have a lot of games remaining. If they do, we may jump into their match before it's over. Otherwise, the next match we watch will be the 3rd place. In the meantime, we're going to be going on a short break.